Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Will and Deshaun show, right?
What's up? Yes, it is.
So yeah, I'm Deshaun.
And this is Will.
And shout out to all my live me people who watching the podcast. Make sure y'all share.
Share.
I don't really know how to work live me yet, so I know I can
test.
Yeah, I can do like coin drops and stuff like that. It's all type of little fun stuff. It's like an arcade almost. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, what's up, Will? How are you?
I am doing well.
Fantastic.
Doing very well today.
You are well. Good for you.
Been better.
Mm-hmm. We've all been better. We've all been worse. Praise God.
I can get better.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You was about to sing that. I was about to go into I've had good times. I've had bad
right?
times. I won't complain.
Hello. God's been good to me.
But, y'all, today it's not really a sad podcast, but
Looking for this remote.
I don't know what he's looking for.
This remote.
Okay.
That you probably sitting on.
It's right here.
See, I know it.
It's not really a sad podcast, but you know, someone did die.
So how about we better introduction? So it was a little boy named Nigel Shelby who died. He was in the 9th grade, and he died from being bullied because of his sexuality.
Right. He committed suicide, correct?
He committed suicide.
Right. Ooh.
Which is...
It's such a awful way to go.
It's a heavy way to go, but it's so prevalent within our community. Mm-hmm. And again, that young man didn't have any person to talk to.
Right.
Or to turn to. He didn't have no gay mothers and gay uncles and gay family. And he couldn't go to his biological parents about it as well.
Right. You know, I think we often forget how taboo gay still is. You know, because when you grow up, you find your tribe of people and, you know, you hang with who you hang with. You ain't got to be forced to hang with nobody who you don't want to hang with.
True.
You do what you want to do. But when you're a child and, you know, and you're still coming into your own and you're just being yourself and people don't really understand you, you know, of course, and kids are kids.
Kids, I mean.
Kids are cruel.
Adults, I mean.
Okay, adults are cruel. Okay, seriously. And, you know, it sucks that it resorted to suicide because, you know, I don't know what his environment was at his school, but...
Clearly it was very toxic.
Right, exactly. And, you know, usually at schools, there aren't a lot of gay people, so he might have been the only gay kid.
So do you think that queer kids should go to a queer school?
I don't think it's enough schools for that.
There aren't, but should there be more?
I don't think queer kids should go to a queer school. I think schools need to educate more.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We always bully in some form of way, you know, especially in your childhood and in your youth.
Yeah.
I got bullied in high school, but it wasn't like to the point that I wanted to, like, again, to kill myself or to... It didn't get to a point that I wanted to, like, go and shoot up the school or stuff like that. You know, it didn't get to that point at all. But and it definitely wasn't for my sexuality. It's just kids are ignorant, they're just mean. But I think this generation is too sensitive.
Do you think it's because of social media and stuff?
Absolutely, social media. These kids are so many kids are killing themselves off social media.
That's
from social media.
Crazy. Off of people who they never even
that they would never see in a day in their life.
That's crazy.
So I think again that goes back to parental monitoring of these things, of course, of social media and other things. Again, when it comes out to having a queer child, I'll use myself for an example. I began to like guys or notice that I liked men when I was in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Then it started to develop once I was in high school.
Right.
But I didn't have anybody to talk to about it.
Right.
I didn't have like resources. I didn't have like gay friends. I knew of the other gay people at my school, but they were like the flamboyant gay. Again, I didn't have their representation of who represented me and who was gay like me. My parents were very religious and still are very religious.
Right.
And I knew I wasn't the church gay, quote unquote, but I knew I wasn't the...
You didn't have an outlet.
Gay. I never had an outlet.
Right.
But thank God I didn't commit suicide. I did put more so of my energy into music because I used to sing in the church choir. I put my energy to that, into doing it. Funny thing is, looking back on it, I did the stereotypical gay stuff without thinking I was.
I mean, but I don't think it's about being stereotypical.
I know,
I think it's
but
about
I was
whatever.
like,
yeah,
I was into modeling, fashion. I was
whatever
into music.
raises your vibration.
But those were considered like gay stuff.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think whatever brings you happiness, whatever
Again, those are my outlets.
Yeah.
Again, for me, what kept me from killing myself was music.
That's what's up. That's deep.
Music, again, I always tell people music saved my life because, again, I suffered with depression because I didn't have any outlets. I was a teenager growing up, and when you're a teenager and you start to go through your little corner, as they could call them, phases, and you're trying to find out who you are and what you want to do with your life, and you kind of putting all these pressures on yourself, and you don't kind of know or have someone to turn to. Like, again, every school have school counselors and stuff like that, but especially within our community, we don't really go to like counseling.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you didn't want to go talk to a counselor or anybody, but again, I would say this for Nigel's. I don't know Nigel's experience, but I do feel that each generation it gets a little easier.
Yeah, but I feel like
because Nigel could have found plenty. First of all, we live in the tech age and internet age, right. So Nigel could have found friends on Jack. And all these outlets. Like,
I mean, I don't know his situation.
We don't know. I mean, we don't.
Maybe he's too young for Jack.
Please, he was in 9th grade. That boy was a teenager.
I mean, I don't know.
These kids be on Jack.
I don't want to talk as if Nigel should have done this, that, and
no, I'm saying, but if he wanted to find I know it wasn't kind of hard for him to find other gay people. Like, we have social media, so he would have found someone.
And I don't know Nigel's. Again, I don't know Nigel's situation, but a lot of people are dealing with being ridiculed from at school. Then it's church. Church is messing with people's minds, and then your own family will be messing with. Like, you could be getting it from a lot of different directions, and when everyone's pointing their finger at you, and telling you that who you naturally are is wrong, that can really fuck you up in the head. That can make you like.
That was always my dilemma. Within church.
Yeah.
I grew up a Christian. I did not became a quote unquote I gave my life to Christ, but that was always a conflict within my life of loving this God who says, well, and in his book, quote unquote, that says who I am is wrong versus who I am naturally.
Right.
That was a big conflict in my life. And I told you, for years, I didn't do anything. Like, I lived a Christian life. I didn't talk to guys. I didn't, do anything, have sex with men or anything. Mm-hmm. I suppressed who I was. I tried to pray the gate away and all this stuff. But, of course, it didn't work. But by the time I got 25, I was like, you know what? These feelings are not going away. So I have to embrace who I am.
This must be who I am. Right. I think also, as I grew and I understood what, not just sexuality and spirituality, but what God was. And God is so much more than what we learn in the early stage of life, as far as just Christianity, to me, this is just me talking because God is something different to everybody. But I feel like God or the universe, whatever you want to call this higher power, wants you to so be who you naturally are and to so be who you feel is right. You know what I mean? I think God is so much more than, he's so complex, or she, but to me it's a he because I'm a man. So
I mean, it's a quote unquote a spirit that we cannot see, so it doesn't really have a gender. Right, and
I think God is so much more.
It's so funny that I just really got that revelation because again, I identify God as
whatever God is, or the universe, or the higher power. I think it's so much more than just straight. It's so much more than just gay. Like it's just so much more than that.
I'm still reflecting on that what I just said because that really just resonated to me.
So I think God is, and you learn this. Well, I learned it as I got older because I was, of course, brought up in the church. But
God is a woman.
I know, right? God is. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
An awesome girl. Yes, yeah, of course. What gospel song? I don't know. Okay,
I know. Church Queen. But
try me.
But yeah, but basically, God is a lot more complex than what we learned He is in the beginning.
True.
So, and I never felt maybe for a little bit I might have felt guilty about my sexuality, but I think I came into my sexuality around the same time I was coming into my spirituality, which I'm still always evolving in. And I think when the barriers started to fall down about what spirituality was and what sexuality was, I was able to accept who I really am.
Okay.
So I think it's because I always felt like sexuality and spirituality kind of work hand in hand in a way. Because I think sexuality is spirit in a way.
So it's spiritually tied.
Yeah, I think there's a spirituality in sex. I think sexuality is power. I think it's energy, and whenever it's energy, it's spirit. So I think
definitely a strong energy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think God just wants us to be who we are, and I wish that people would know that earlier, and not in their later teens and 20s, but in their ones and twos. People would know that God just wants you to be who you are, without people telling you aren't who you're supposed to be, especially at such a young age like Nigel was when he committed suicide. Like, you're still trying to figure out who you are. Like, that's such a young age. So,
but again, all of that, again, like you said a little bit earlier, that a lot of that stuff stems from Christianity, because again, they hear it from their parents. The people who are bullying are hearing these things from their parents.
It's definitely a generational curse in this bitch.
Now they're telling you who you are is wrong.
Right.
And instead of affirming you or who you are.
Right. Or just guiding you. Or helping you to
when you hear a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say that they knew they was gay or at like 5 or like at a very young age. And to me I was always
baffled
by that. Because I didn't have those feelings. Like, I didn't have it. For me personally, again, everybody grows up differently.
We all have our own path.
But I didn't have like sexual attraction or feelings until I became of puberty age.
Right.
So when people said they knew when they were like 5 and 3 years old and stuff like that, I'm like, okay.
Right. Okay. That's weird to me too.
I'm like, okay.
Like, how are you?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone has their own.
But again, this goes to say again that being a homosexual or same gender loving person has nothing to do with having sex.
But my thing is, even with that, how do you know what you're sexually attracted to at such a young age?
Right.
Because when I hear you're gay, I'm thinking you like the same sex.
Right. You say, oh. Well, a lot of people say that they couldn't put a name to it. They just know that they were attracted to it. They know they definitely knew they were different. Okay. They knew that they wanted to be around.
And again, I don't doubt anyone's experience.
Because I feel the same way too. It's like, how do you know who you are like attracted to? Like at that age. And again, it's always weird to me, but again, that's their experience and not mine. My experience came when I became in my adolescence.
Hey, if y'all start sharing, I'll do a coin drop.
Come on, coins.
Yeah, coins.
Maybe we're also on this thing called
Live Me
for the regular podcast.
Exactly. So for our people who are on YouTube, follow us on Live Me, or follow me on Live Me, Deshaun Duran. For the people who on Live Me, follow the Will and Deshaun Show on YouTube as well as Instagram at Will and Deshaun. So yeah. But everyone just has their own journey,
Absolutely.
A lot of times you're not supposed to be able to picture yourself in someone's shoes.
True.
Right?
But again, unfortunately for Nigel, his journey was cut short. Nigel didn't even have a chance to really live a fulfilling life.
Right.
Again, and I always say this is my definition of what suicide is. Suicide is a permanent out for a temporary situation.
Right. So with suicide, horrible word. Who do you think is to blame?
Good question. I think it comes from I will say this. It could be from yourself, and it can also come from outside sources. Because you can feel like you're unloved so much from outside sources that you take that. So then now it goes to the inside. The responsibility goes onto you, because now you have these seeds that have been planted, you have let them grow. And now you having self-doubt, and now it's in your mind that, I'm unloved, who I am is wrong.
Right, because
I don't feel right, I shouldn't be here. Like, those are the things that happens when you want to commit suicide.
Right. 'Cause
also, again, it comes from depression. A lot of times it comes from depression.
and all of things are in the head. So once you get that head going in the wrong direction, it could be a snowball
And you're
effect.
tired of hurting. That's another thing too. When people commit suicide, they're tired of their current situation. They just want it to be done with. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And what better way to deal with that is to end my life. If I could just go to sleep and don't wake back up, that's how it is.
Right, exactly. It's sad. I don't know. I just think about all the other people who you would hurt when you take your own life.
You do, but you're not really thinking about that when you.
And he's so young too.
Because again, I've had suicidal thoughts, even in my recent years. You know, I can even say it from at least maybe 2 months ago. You know, I never want to act on it, but that was one of the things like, I'm tired of going through. Like, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of this. You know, you be like, there's a solution for it. You know, you have that little.
But that's not the solution. It's more than one solution.
Let me finish. You have that little devil angel thing on your shoulders. Where you have that, like, go ahead, go and do it. You know, this be out. You ain't got to go through this no more. Then you got the angel on the other shoulder saying, it gets better. You know, my motto has always been, if I wake up the next day, I'll be okay.
Right.
The reason why I say that is because you don't know what tomorrow holds. Tomorrow is definitely the future. You don't know what the future holds for you. You could wake up be a millionaire. All your situation that you're stressing about and want to commit suicide about can be over. You know.
Or you can just wake up and feel good.
You wake up and be in a better.
That'll happen to me a bunch of times. You go to sleep like, oh, I'm pissed off at the world. You wake up like, I feel good. I feel good all over. You wake up like this.
Okay. Right there.
Right? Oh, Lord. But, you know, it's just such an unfortunate situation.
What can happen now? Do you have any suggestions on how these things can be prevented?
Suicide?
Yes, within the gay community.
I think communication. I think talk to everybody you can possibly talk to, whether it's via text, via phone, in person. Just talk to every single person. There's so many suicide hotlines. You call every suicide hotline. Talk to everybody you could ever talk to who you think could give you some advice.
How much? I'm trying to figure the words to say. How much responsibility or accountability is it for that parent of Nigel?
I think that's a sticky question. I think suicide is still ultimately on the person, you know, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, I think the way parents are set up, they're going to feel responsibility for you all throughout your life.
Right. Because do you think she had signs? Did Nigel kind of gave signs of that he was maybe depressed or wanted to kill himself?
But I don't know.
Because I'm not sure if he left a suicide note or not.
Right. I don't know. What I do know is a lot of times we do stuff that are dramatic and parents don't act on it. You know, I think we've all done something that parents are like, boy, if you don't go in the room and sit down.
On my face, I'm tired.
Right. And
that's another problem with parents. Right. They don't talk to their kids either.
But at the same time, it's like you wake up the next day and you be like, oh, I did that. I don't know what happened. Like you wake up the next day in another mood.
Yes and no.
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
I would say this. I know someone, one of my close friends, who also deals with depression, and they hint a lot at suicide.
Who?
And as soon as I see stuff like that, I immediately call.
Right.
Like I ain't texting, I'm calling. Hey, what's going on? I see what you posted. Like, what's that about? You know, because again, I deal with stuff like that. But when you see the red flags, or you see the signs in certain people, you need to kind of like get ahead of that. Right. Because then people will feel like, well, I know nobody care about me, and I'm lonely, and this, that, and the third.
You're right.
Because in being a queer person, you can sometimes feel very alone. Yeah,
most definitely. Sometimes you feel like, because like I said, the world is still very straight. So sometimes you just kind of feel like nothing is paying attention to you. Because I feel like in a world where everything is straight, everything is marketed to straight people in a way. So
true. Again, we have a little bit more representation.
We have more now. We do. Some people do. Some gay people do.
You can see hope out because actually recently, I know I don't really want to mention his name, but on Empire, Jesse's character got married to his partner, and it was the first time
that fine dark skin man.
It was the first time a gay black male couple was married on TV. He fine. He's also in Sense8. That show Sense8 if I want to see him with it too. But yes.
Oh hey. But yeah. But you know, like I said, we just need, especially for gay black men. If you guys didn't know, gay black people have the resources for gay people are like disproportionately given to white people because it's from reasons far as they advocate more
systematic racism
So I'm sure, or I wish there was more resources that reach out to gay black people because I feel like maybe he needs a gay black hotline. Maybe that's something we could create, a gay black hotline for.
Maybe there should be an app.
Yeah, for like specifically.
We have to go with the times, and we all know that anybody can't know hotlines no more.
Right.
Not really.
I don't know. You never know, but
I'm not saying that they aren't, but that's kind of like, honestly, to me, it's very dated because I remember growing up, and they would have like there was kind of like suicide hotlines or like the abuse hotline.
So far as suicidal hotline, what is the current or?
I'm really not sure, but of course you can. Everybody can go and use Google and find out what's the current suicide hotline, either in your state or, you know, maybe they just have a universal line.
Right. So, I would love to start that. Oof.
But again, it's always good to, as older gay people, or just even if you're not even older, to have. What I would like to do is have, as the people always say, have like gay children. I want to mentor somebody who's younger than me, who's in their life as well, because a lot of younger kids like Nigel could have been saved if they had somebody to mentor them or somebody they can turn to or feel like they can have someone to talk to.
Right.
I want to be what I didn't have.
Right.
In the community. I'm not, because again, I'm 37, about to be 38, so I'm not like a really old person, but I would like to mentor like a teenager or somebody in their early 20s. You know, I'm not trying to get with them to sleep with them. I'm trying to truly be like a big brother / maybe father, uncle figure to someone that's the gay youth. Because again, we found that the gay youth don't have anyone to talk to, and they don't have guidance, and they out here living reckless, a lot of them.
Okay.
And some of them are literally being homeless and getting kicked out their house for being who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being threatened, you know, personally. I was threatened to be kicked out for being gay.
Mm. That's a lot of people's reality.
So again, we don't know what Nigel, going back to Nigel, we don't know what his household could have been toxic.
Right.
We really don't know.
But make sure y'all follow us.
I know this was a heavy one.
Yeah, this was heavy. But still follow us though and share.
Absolutely. I want you to still follow us.
Follow us on @WillAndDeshawn on Instagram and YouTube. Follow Deshawn Duran, as well as Best of Black on everything.
And Best of Black Life as well.
Right. So, bye, y'all.
Bye.